Ladies and gentlemen, fellow drifters, hello and welcome. My name, of course, is Potato. Welcome yourselves back to Flotsam. That's right, it's the game where you drift around collecting resources and building up a little base slash town in the middle of an open, empty sea. We are going to start a brand new game here because there's been a brand new big old update. It's the world update. It changes a bunch of scrap and port. Sure, let's go for it. It changes a bunch of stuff with regards to the way that the game is played. Mostly the movement mechanic. It is now done on a big old map, and you get to move wherever the heck you want to. Down in the bottom left-hand corner, you can see there is a fuel gauge there, which we will talk more about as we start to use it. But you know, suffice to say, the sort of fundamental mechanic of the game has been changed. We now have perhaps got a slightly more challenging job in order to build up a town center and get the resources needed to survive out here. So, without further ado, let's get down to business. As you can see, our town center our town heart, as I think they refer to it as, is no longer stationary. It's this big old boat. In order to move anywhere, we need to repair the engine, which we will do, but we're not going to do quite yet, as we need to establish some of the basic collection mechanics first. So, first things first. I think we want to see if we can try and get some plastic collected. That's always a good solid bet. There's also a little bit of wood down here as well, so I'm going to set two people to go and collect some plastic. I mean, how many people do we have on our town? We've got three people on our town. That's totally fine. So one person can go and collect plastic, one person can go and collect wood, and the other can just, I don't know, just twiddle your thumbs, chill out on the town heart for a little bit. In fact, no, sorry, I can't abide the laziness. You get down to the plastic zone and start picking up some plastic. And we need to be conscious. We need to be conscious of the fact that we do have limited space. Our town inventory is limited to 100 units of something. So you know, we'll keep that in mind. But of course, we need resources in order to build stuff. And at the moment, we do not have any of the resources needed to build anything. So that's what we want to try and do. We're also, over the course of this little mini series, going to try and accumulate some research points in order to unlock some brand new buildings. And I believe that there have been some buildings added, although we'll have to wait and see what they are as we go. Yeah, I mean, look, I'm really excited for this. I had an absolute whale of a time. I had an absolute whale of a time with this game last time. Ooh, seaweed-covered rocks. What do we got here? We've got seaweed spore. Okay, so immediately I can see that that is new. And then we've also got raw seaweed. Well, I can't say that raw seaweed sounds terribly appetizing. However, I think that we should better collect it, or we should at least try and collect it. Yeah, right. Let me take this marker out. So basically, the way that markers work, you stick them into the ocean, and it shows you how many of a specific resource are within the radius. And so people will swim out to the resources and pick them up, and that is pretty much how it goes. Can we not salvage this? This action requires you to be in swimming range. Ah, okay, that's a little bit of a problem, and we are just outside swimming range. I mean, the fact that is outside swimming range is not necessarily a problem. What have we got over here? A leaking water tower? Well, I would love to get across to that, but unfortunately, I don't think we're going to be able to. Also, we have food and water resources up at the top, which we need to keep a very, very close eye on, because if we're not able to manage our food and water effectively, well, people start to die, and then, you know, everything just tends to go downhill very, very fast indeed. So what are we able to make with just plastic and wood here? We can make a small storage yard, but that's not particularly interesting. A walkway to expand the building space, that does indeed interest me. A small drying rack, good for drying wood. I mean, that is essential, right? So why don't we try and give that a shot, eh? Right. Let's get a nice big old walkway. We'll build it as big as we possibly can. There we go. Somebody chop chop, get to it. Yes, please, as fast as you possibly can. Also, you know what I'm going to do? I'm actually going to... Yeah, okay. Once you've collected the resources from this area, I'm actually going to move the marker a little bit closer in. Throw it into 2 times speed as well. I'm going to throw the marker slightly closer in, roundabout to this area. There we go. And then this marker can be removed, mostly to cut back on the journey time. I think, you know, we've got to try and optimize as much as we possibly can. And so that's what we're going to try and do. Anyway, this walkway is going to be built relatively quickly, and then as soon as it is built, we should be able to get ourselves a small drying rack. We can also get ourselves a regular drying rack, which would allow us to dry 6 items. Now, at the moment, we've just got wet wood. However, that is going to be processed into dry wood as soon as we get ourselves this drying rack. But we need a little tiny smidgen more plastic. But that's fine. Okay, so you're going to chill out over there. Enlarge the wood collection area, the wood collection boy, because we do actually need a lot more wood than we're going to need plastic. Although in saying that, we do need a fair amount of plastic, so I'm going to get this this other dude to go and collect a little bit of plastic for now, and so that can keep us going. To be honest, I think we're almost ready to move. To be honest, we do need to think about getting a distiller, but a distiller needs dry wood, and we need a drying rack in order to get dry wood, as I've already alluded to. Yeah, also, how do I make rope? I must be able to make rope somehow. How do I do that? A working shed? A working shed is how we get wood. Okay, well, we're at least going to need a couple of small drying racks, at least in the interim. So let's get that set up like so we can immediately start drying wood. I love the way that this game looks. Don't you think it just looks fantastic? I think it really looks great. It's real neat. It's real neat. It's real nifty. Okay. So get this all built as quickly as we possibly can, and then we will immediately start drying the wood. Also, you can see the amount of water that we've got in the town heart. We've got 17 units of water, 20 units of food, so a fair supply at the moment. I mean, not an unlimited supply, but you know, certainly enough for now. There we go. Dry wood. As you can see, 180 seconds in order to take us to dry wood. You've decided to go for a little nap. Okay, all right. Yeah, sure. I don't really get what's going on there, but yeah, you're turning over in your sleep. Oh my goodness. It does rather look like you're having a seizure. Wow, that's not ideal. Not the look that you were going for, I bet, video game, but that's okay. That's totally fine. We should probably actually see if we can try and get some people to bed. That might be the appropriate thing to do. Okay, speaking of appropriate thing to do, let me see if we can try and get some more. Oh, can I not build that any closer? There we go. That's what I'm looking for. Build one more drying rack to continue to process our dry wood, because we've got a lot of it. I think 4 drying racks, or 4 small drying racks, should suffice for now. We will talk about production limits in just a second, as the tutorial was explaining to me. But we will deal with that later. As you can see, the progress on individual bits of wood drying can be seen just here. So that's looking very, very nice indeed. And also, I think we're probably about ready to hit the road. Yeah, I think I'm gonna set one more boy over there. Yep. And there's a boy over here, obviously, which is totally fine. So I think we collect a little bit more food. What am I talking about? We collect a little bit more plastic, and then I think we're ready to head. As you can see, we've now started to get a little tiny smidgen of dry wood, which is pretty darn nice. It's just being transferred into our storage space at this moment in time, which is really, really nice. And now we should be able to head off, I think, after we collect. I'll let you finish your wood journey. Sure, I'll let you finish your wood journey, and maybe one more person could go out and collect a little bit more plastic. I mean, I feel like we just need a little bit of plastic. We need to get the basics sorted before we move out of here for the first time. We can make a woodworking shed now. We can also make an oil refinery, which is a brand new structure. Refines oil from plastic waste. That's very, very cool. So that is going to help us power our town. However, in saying that, I don't think we're going to need that quite yet, as we do start the game with a basic level of fuel. I really am after this distiller, though. That's what I'm kind of after as well. All of these resources are essential to providing food. I mean, what do we have in terms of providing food? Seaweed grower, that's brand new. In order to provide a seaweed grower, we need to create 3 rope, which means that we're going to need a workshop. Okay, there's a lot of stuff that we need to get in order. Okay, what I'm going to do is I think we're going to head off. I'm going to tell my little dudes to repair the engine. I'm going to ditch this boy over there. You can do one more trip to collect wood, I guess. Sure, no issues. And you can remove that marker as well there. So you're going to come back with 5 plastic on your back, and we can get that all sorted. I don't believe repairing the engine takes resources, although I may very well be mistaken entirely. But that's fine. Okay, continue to dry out the wood. That's lovely. And then we'll wait for you to make your triumphant return back to the town heart. Brilliant. Brilliant, brilliant, brilliant. Okay, and as soon as you're back, we are going to make our first voyage into the great unknown. Or should I say the great known? Let's do it. Okay, so let's click on this button. Let's take us into the map interface, and let's see what we want to do. So, I mean, I've already identified that we need a little bit of food. We do need a little bit of food. We need a little bit of oil. I mean, if we were to move up here, it's a very short journey, but it's also, like, remarkably accessible. And remarkably good for us, I think. So there are 3 landmarks here. Seaweed-covered rocks, seaweed-covered rocks. In fact, they're the exact same seaweed-covered rocks that can currently be seen, yeah, over here. So that's the 2 seaweed-covered rocks. Yep. And then we've also got the water tower right over yonder. So what I'm basically proposing is that the boat is going to move from here to about here. Now, that is a little bit of a problem because it makes us probably unable to collect plastic. Although, actually, I think there might be a way. If I'm to put it right there, then we'll be able to access that plastic source as well as that wood source as well. Not to mention both of the seaweed-covered rocks and the leaking water tower. So without further ado, let's turn the boat around and let's get sorted. Brilliant. Okay, and now let's go in here and see what the heck we've got. Brilliant. So, now I do indeed believe, yep, both of the seaweed-covered rocks are within salvage range, which is phenomenal news. Still a little bit low on oil, and there's no source of oil within this area, although we can, of course, make the oil distiller, or whatever the heck it's called, oil refinery. That is what it's called. Okay, cool. Well, let's salvage the leaking water tower, because we do need a little bit of water, and we also need a little bit of food as well. It's got a nutritional value of 1. We can talk about nutrition a little bit later on. But at least for now, I'm happy with that. I'm happy with the food that we're gonna get. I'm happy with the water that we're gonna get. Yeah, that's not too bad. A woodworking shed, I think, seems to be the next thing that we are after. That will allow us to make rope, which will in turn allow us to make a regular bed. Not to mention the drying rack as well, which will allow us to process wood slightly faster, which is pretty darn nice. The engine is still 100% raring and ready to go, which is very, very nice indeed. Alright, good. Is anyone salvaging the seaweed over here? No, nobody's salvaging the seaweed over there, but somebody is, yep, salvaging the leaking water tower. Brilliant. Okay, so if we can put our food back up to... If we can put our food back up to 25, maybe 30, that would be really, really good. Same with the water reserves. That's the sort of stat that we're looking for. At the moment, we only have 3 drifters. We, of course, will probably end up getting more than that as we discover population centers and whatnot. Rope or firewood can be manufactured in the working shed. I obviously only need rope at this moment in time. So let's queue up 4 rope to be built. And let's see. A distiller? We should probably try and get ourselves a distiller. Yeah, so a distiller will remove salt from seawater to generate fresh water. Alright, brilliant. How much plastic do we have? We've got enough plastic to, I think, create another little walkway over here. Let's create it right on the front of the town heart, eh? Ooh, also look at this, a mooring point. This is pretty darned essential. In order to make a mooring point, we only need a rope, plastic, and a little bit of wood. However, we need to make a salvage boat to go in the mooring point, and once we're able to get a salvage boat, we're able to move a heck of a lot more materials around, which is really, really nice. Seaweed grower is kind of what I think I'm after at this moment in time, though. So let's get a distiller and a seaweed water, just so that we can, just so that we can maintain our water reserves and our food reserves as well. And that's going to be on this sort of front little walkway. I'm going to try and prioritize walkways out to the side, out to the front, because as you can see, I believe, yep, Mr. Sammy Flot, I believe that you move faster when you're walking down the walkway. So in order to get to the leaking water tower, you're gonna run down the walkway segment, jump into the water, and then swim across. So I think it makes sense to have, you know, roughly some walkways in all sort of 4 primary general directions: north, south, east, west. Well, as south as you can make it, because the engine's here, and I don't think we're going to be able to build a walkway in the way of the engine. That doesn't particularly matter. Also, beds. We need to get beds, although beds are very expensive, actually. Yeah, 12 bits of wood. Okay, well, that is pricey. Right. Let's increase that range so that we can collect plastic in a slightly larger radius. That's totally fine. What have we got going on here? You've got nothing to do. And we've got no wood to dry. I mean, I'm okay with that. That's totally fine. Okay, seaweed. Seaweed grower. Let's get a seaweed grower. Holy cow, this thing is huge. Okay, fine. Fine. Get a seaweed grower right in there. It costs the 3 brand new ropes that we made, and also a whole bunch of wood. That's fine. Also, what the heck is this? It's a massive big old whale with big teeth. Wowzers. Yeah, that's, I hope the whales can't interact with my drifters. I sure as heck hope that's the case. Otherwise, we could be in trouble. Could be a drifter down. I'm presuming these seaweed spores can be used in the seaweed grower. That's at least the assumption that I'm going on. I have no proof of this, no evidence, nothing. So, let's see exactly what happens, shall we? Also, I am desperate for plastic. I really am. Also, metal components. If I can get myself some mechanical components or metal components, whatever they're called, metal scrap, then I will be golden. Right. So raw seaweed into, or seaweed spores into raw seaweed, and it takes 600 seconds. Okay. I mean, that's totally fine. What do we need for the distiller? A little bit more plastic. Exactly why I've dispatched a dude down here to go and pick up some plastic. All right, brilliant. Now, we need to be rather careful. We need to be rather careful that we don't end up overfilling our storage area. That does maybe potentially give us a little bit of a problem. Also, let's expand that so that we can have somebody going to fetch wood, because we are actually, unbelievably, in need of a little bit of wood. And we're also... we're not super full on storage, but we're getting close. We're getting close to it, actually. We're getting close to maxed out. Okay. 10 more things of water to be collected from the leaking water tower. Do I want to collect it all? Probably. Probably I do. I think we get 5 research points if we finish that leaking water tower. I believe. I think. I think it's the same with the seaweed-covered rocks over here as well. That's a mechanic that I think they've changed since the last time that I played the video game, but that's totally fine. A large drying rack. I mean, ironically, I don't think we need a large drying rack at this moment in time at all. We could indeed find ourselves trying to get a storage yard. Why don't I try and get a storage yard? Yeah, let's get one more rope, and then we will see if we can try and get ourselves a big storage yard, which will allow us to store 45 salvaged flotsam and scrap items. And all that we really need is a little bit more wood. Yeah, there is a severe lack of wood over here. That's for sure. A severe lack of wood. 5 bits of water left to be collected from the leaking tower. 1 singular seaweed spore ready to be collected from the seaweed-covered rocks, which is brilliant. Let's whap it into 3 times speed and let that progress. Our seaweed spores are growing nicely in the seaweed grower. Wonderful. I'm pretty happy with that. Can't really complain too much. Indeed, you cannot. All right, a distiller. I think we got to get ourselves a distiller. Again, we are fine. We are totally fine for water at this moment in time. However, let's at least get it sorted, which means that if push comes to shove, if we absolutely need to, we can totally manage. And hey, what do you know? We've managed to find ourselves 10 research points. Brilliant. What will that allow us to get? A large storage yard, 120 salvaged flotsam and scrap items, but it consumes metal scrap in order to build it. A house, so that's 2 drifters can rest as opposed to just 1, but that also requires metal scrap. A scrapsmith, we can turn scrap into screws and pipes, and it consumes fuel in the process. Plastic recycler, plastic waste into plastic nets. A solar still imports salt water and exports fresh water. I mean, what did that cost to build? That costs a pipe to build. Okay, that's a problem. A saltwater container. Sorry, a small water container, and then a regular water container. A fish kebab imports fishes. A food truck, or a fishing hut, but a fishing hut costs 15 research points, and plastic net, which is pretty darn advanced. Okay, well, I mean, not much really is useful at this moment in time, because we are in need of metal scrap, pretty much. Alright, we've cleaned out the seaweed-covered rocks. We've cleaned out the leaking water tower. Brilliant. There are seaweed-covered rocks over yonder. However, I don't think that I'm overly concerned by that. I think that we just want to try and make a move. We want to see if we can try and get to the next area. Should we give that a shot? Okay. What have we got? We got Lonely Island. Lonely Islands, I believe, contain some goodies. I mean, I think I want to go here. As you can see down in the bottom left-hand corner, there is an orange bar, and then there's a yellow bar, I guess. So the orange bar is how much fuel is going to be consumed in order to get to where I'm wanting to go. If I go to this Lonely Island, I think that's going to mean that I can pick up a new member of the team. I think I want to go right over here. This will take me into range of 3 important resources. First of all, people. Second of all, wood. Third of all, plastic. And also a source of fish. Now, we don't have currently any capability to exploit the fish resource. However, we're going to move across. We're going to see what the situation is over here. And then I think we're hopefully going to try and pick up a brand new dude. A brand new team member. That's right. Where the heck am I? There we go. All right, brilliant. What have we got? Well, hey. Okay, great. Can you be rescued? We need a salvage boat in order to rescue. Okay, the priority is now trying to get a salvage boat. And I don't think I've got a salvage boat. I don't even think I have the capability to make one. I've got the capability to make a mooring point, but I think for a salvage boat, I need components. Right, okay, well, this is embarrassing, but also an opportunity. There's always a silver lining. That's not true. There's not always a silver lining. However, I feel on this occasion, there is a silver lining. We are going to be prompted, or we have to, basically, we have to build a oil refinery in order to progress, which is good, because I've never built one before, and I think it would be kind of fun, right? That would be kind of fun. Thank you for telling me, video game, that there's not enough houses. Look, people are drifting in the middle of nowhere. I'm not going to concern myself with finding a bed for everyone. That is definitely a tomorrow priority, i.e. something that we don't need to think about for at least another 30 minutes. Oh, hey, look, our seaweed is ready to be salvaged. That's not too bad at all. In fact, that's pretty darn great. Let's get these seaweed spores planted out, and let's continue our growing mission. So that is very, very good. Yeah, what can I say? I'm pretty chuffed with that. All right. Hey, we got a distiller. Or not a distiller, an oil refinery. Let's stick that down over here. And let's immediately see if we can construct it. The sooner the better as far as I'm concerned. And that will allow us to create some, some oil. After that, we need to be thinking about where we're going. We need parts. We need parts desperately. Ooh, seagull nest. I do want a seagull. A seagull would be really good. A leaking water tower. I don't really need a leaking water tower. What is there down here? Fishing village? Don't care about a fishing village, to be honest. I need something that will give me parts. A viaduct. That is what I'm after. Leaking water tower. Abandoned motorboats. Abandoned motorboats might give me parts. They might give me parts, but they might also require that I have a salvage boat as well. Yeah, no guarantees. Okay, let's make some oil, shall we? Okay. Brilliant. Let's process some oil, see if we're able to make a little bit more boat fuel. All the while collecting a little bit more wood in the process. Ideally, actually, let me devote 2 people to getting wood out the water. Because that is the resource I think that we are in need of most at this time. Alright, so how much oil does this actually give us? It gives us some. It gives us some, and it sort of makes me reevaluate my choice to send 2 people out to collect wood. I think I'd rather get 2 people to collect plastic, to be honest. Of course, it is deeply irritating that, you know, there is somebody stuck on top of that mountain up there. Yep, that you're even able to shout hello, but yet I'm not able to get to you. I mean, I can build a mooring point. I should build a mooring point in preparation to build a salvage boat. I mean, once we're able to get a salvage boat, we're gonna be golden. Okay, well, let's collect 1 more load of plastic. We do have a soft timer, a soft limit, really, as to what we can do, how much time we can spend in a specific area. Yeah, it's not super hard. Right, build that up there. Yep, at the very end. That's cool. Start building that straight away. And let's see if we can produce a little bit more oil as well. Continuing to collect plastic this whole darn time. Wonderful. Did more bits of plastic just pop into existence there? Is that a forever replenishing stockpile? I don't know. I did have a weird bug the last time that I was playing the game where plastic would magically despawn and I wasn't able to collect it. Yeah, that was not fun. That was really not fun, in fact. In fact, I would go so far as to say that was distinctly unfun. But there you go. Okay, we're ready with the dried wood. We just literally need the parts. Okay, so the plan of action is you're going to finish collecting the parts over here, the plastic from over here. Brilliant. And now we are going to take a look at the map and we are going to move as... What is that? Long Island? That might be something that I'm interested in going to. We're going to move as short a distance as we possibly can. We're going to move right to there, right into the middle, so that we can access the abandoned motorboats, as well as accessing 2 existing, or 2 stockpiles. Right, what have we got here? Oh my goodness, it's the motherload. Holy cow. Right, double up. In fact, you know what? Triple up. Everyone is going to be concerned. Everyone is going to be concerned with getting this scrap. Look at it. It's the 3 musketeers. They're currently trying to get as much scrap as they possibly can. And if we loot all of this scrap, then that means that we're going to be able to get a salvage boat. In fact, we're probably going to be able to get more than 1 salvage boat. So, I mean, immediately, let me see if I can try and make another mooring point. That's what I'm talking about. Okay, 2 mooring points, 2 boats. We're not going to leave the town heart unless it's by boat from now on, basically. Watch the whale. Be very careful of the whale. Also, let's get ourselves a salvage boat. Yes, please. Oh my goodness. And that gives us access to a brand new marker. And that will allow us to do that. So we're going to be able to collect a little bit more wood. Not like we particularly need it, but that is what it is. Okay, and I'm going to make another salvage boat because why the heck not? They're so good. Brilliant. And in order to build another mooring point, we need a little bit more rope. So we'll convert some more wood into that. I'm going to cancel the route to the abandoned motorboats because now I can assign a salvage boat to go and do that trip, which is going to make it so much faster because salvage boats travel faster and they're able to carry, I believe, up to 10 Flotsam. So 10 bits of debris. Let me have a little look. Yep, 10 bits of wood. That is brilliant. Okay, so storage is definitely going to become an issue here. In fact, it has already become an issue. There we go. Nice, look at that. Okay, so loads and loads and loads of resources that we can collect here. That is phenomenal. Very, very nice indeed. Yeah, just plastic that we're really after here. Right, take that down to 0 for now. So you might go and collect some stuff Yeah, okay. We're gonna have issues. We are gonna have issues here. We are gonna hit our capacity. Right, mooring point. Can I create more mooring points? I want to create more mooring points, but I think in order to do that safely, I'm gonna need to create some more walkways. Tell you what, let's get a large drying rack. That will consume just a single rope and a little bit of wood. We want to make sure that we keep our inventory reasonably clean. I'm not super happy at the fact that it's almost full. Again, I did say that I'd talk about production limits at a later point. It's not really become too much of an issue quite yet. I mean, we're close to max, but we're not quite there. We're not quite there, thankfully. And I think that we can still utilize some plastic in order to make walkways. In fact, that's exactly what I'm going to do. Right, we need one more tiny bit of plastic in order to make the walkway that I'm interested in. Yeah, we're now at full storage. That's not good. That's not good at all. Okay, as a workaround, let's get a single mooring point right over there. Not my preferred place to build it, but at least it'll free up a little bit of space, which is kind of nice. You're coming back with a bunch of parts as well. Not ideal, but that's fine. 2 rope needed in order to build a large storage yard. Well, why don't we try and build a large storage yard? I mean, that would be pretty good to do. And now we've got a little bit more plastic as well, so we can get a walkway in here. Yeah, nice 16 plastic long walkway. Why the heck not? All right. Man, okay, we've now got 3 boats. 3 boats, and we can get a fishing boat as well, if we feel so inclined. That also costs 4 mechanical parts. In fact, is that the same recipe as the... Yeah, it's the same recipe as the salvage boat. Ah, cool. Well, we might as well get one, right? Might as well get one. And let's get that large storage yard in place. Or that medium storage yard, I should say. And then let's also see if we can try and get ourselves another mooring point. In order to get another mooring point, I'm going to need a rope. I'm going to need a little bit more plastic. Also, let's finish off salvaging the abandoned motorboats as well. There we go. Tick there. We get 5 research points, which is lovely indeed. I can't say that I am too displeased with what's happening right now. In fact, quite on the contrary, I am very pleased with what is happening right this moment. Right, so what do we need for a mooring point? 1 more rope, and the 1 more rope is in. Brilliant. Okay, this is going to be the last mooring point that I build for a while. After that, I'm going to get some... I'm going to get 1 singular fishing boat, actually. There we go. Reduce that to 0. Perfect. There we go. All right, brilliant. So 1 more load of wood, and then I think we will skedaddle. Now, I did say that I was going to skedaddle potentially up to the viaduct. However, I think it's become clear that the viaduct is no longer super necessary. The boats were tremendously helpful. I mean, 46 metal scrap after we built like tons and tons and tons of boats. I mean, you can't complain about that. That's really rather nice indeed. Okay, yep, let's wait until you get back, and then you can place out a whole bunch of woods to be dried. Brilliant. Yeah, wonderful. Okay, I think we're going to hit the road, and we're going to travel right back to the Lonely Island. Ooh, actually, in fact, I tell you what, my salvage range has increased tremendously. So, that Lonely Island over here, I can actually legitimately rescue you now with a salvage boat. If I'm not mistaken. That is brilliant, so I don't even need to move anywhere. Alrighty then. Alright. Well, that's good. Well, let's try and prioritize a house then, shall we? Let's get it unlocked. We need 10 metal scrap and 12 wood in order to build that. I think we've got both of those materials, mostly for the most part. Let's expand this walkway by ever so slightly. Jane Crewley joined the community. Brilliant. So that's just going to be 1 more person to feed, but also 1 more person to provide accommodation for, all of which we do need to do. Okay, did we get a fishing boat? I think we... Is that a fishing boat? Did I not build a fish... There we go. Build a fishing boat in there. Alright, and then we can set a fishing point. That's right, now there is a fishing... Ah, yes, there is a school of fish over here. And it's only 10 fish, but, you know, we might as well do it, right? Again, we got to be super careful about our storage. We're already pretty close to max storage. Houses, I do want to get some houses. But in order to get some houses, I'm going to need more boats. Let's devote 2 boats to go and collect scrap. And let's turn down... We've just used up that entire fishing resource. Okay, I was going to say, let's stop collecting fish because it's not strictly necessary. Okay, that's fine. Also, we are going to need a little bit of water. I'm going to put in auto queue for water, and then I'm going to start creating some firewood. Because we need firewood in order to power the distiller, and we need water. Not desperately, but we are in need of it, you know, so we might as well get that started. And then it comes to houses. Now, at the moment, we can only build 1 of these houses. However, I do want to build rather a lot of them. So let's create another walkway. Where do I want to build it? Down this way? Sure. Down this way over here. And then I think we're going to try and build all of the houses along this walkway out here. So, at the moment, we only need 2 houses. We should be totally fine. Boats and mooring points in your town. I've got 3 boats to 4 mooring points. Is that true? I only have 3 boats? I thought I had more boats than that. Oh well. That's totally fine. Either way, Lonely Island definitely rescued. Definitely rescued from the Lonely Island. That's good. So let's just finish up that house. And then, yep, we can immediately parlay that house into a second one right away. At the same time as making some water in our distiller. We're going to need somebody to work at that pretty much permanently. So, you know, that could become somewhat of a problem. Reduce that to 1. Yeah, we need a little bit more wood. We need a little bit more wood. We're running low on wood here. Yeah. But that's everyone got a house, though. So, I mean, that's pretty good. I'm pretty happy with that. Ooh, I guess, now that we don't need to head up to that viaduct, at least we don't need to head up to the viaduct, like, imminently, why don't we see if we can go out to the place that the seagull nest was, eh? That would be pretty darn good. In fact, let's head out to just about there. Let's do it right away. The reason I'm suggesting this point is because the seagull nest is going to be able to be harvested by a scrap boat. We don't need to harvest, or we don't need to head all the way out here. There we go. Well, hey, seagull nest. 2 seagulls, both called Stevie. I don't know. Either way, let's get them both. Let's get them both. There's also an abundance of plastic, an abundance of wood. Yeah, I'm very chuffed with that. That's real nice. Right. We'll stick down a singular salvage boat to salvage both the wood and the plastic. That's quite nice. The sloppy floater. That sounds absolutely horrific. Video game, please do not ever say the words sloppy floater again. Right, zooming out just to have a little look at what's going on at the map. I'm going to set the leaking water tower to be salvaged. 2 reasons, really. Water, obviously, which we kind of need at this rate. But also a good... Oh, it's the new crew member. You're the one that's heading out to the water tower. Also research. We need water, but we also need research. So let's do that. Brilliant. Brilliant. So... yeah, what can I say? I'm happy with that. Also, we should have 2 brand new seagulls. That's nice. 2 brand new seagulls. Now, seagulls are kind of just like additional crew members. So let's set the seagulls to go and collect some plastic. So what do you end up collecting? You're able to take 1 single bit of plastic waste back. Yep. And you do need to be fed though as well, which is somewhat of a bummer. You think that they'd be able to find fishes by themselves? No such luck, I'm afraid. No such luck. They are just about as useless as actual seagulls. Hope there's not any seagull apologists out there that I've accidentally just deeply offended, but no matter. Also, do they require a sleeping area? A bed, really? I don't really know if that's true. We'll stick down another house just in case they need a bed to rest their wings. I have no idea why they would need that, but hey-ho. Also, let's get ourselves one last drying rack. I think that will keep our capacity above where it needs to be. So let's do that. We're fine for food. We are now absolutely fine for water. Cannot complain about water at all. We should probably see if we can get some fish sticks. Some fish sticks would be good because we need it to dry. We need this to dry fish. So let's get that sorted. And then let's keep on bringing in the plastic. Let's keep on bringing in the wood. Keep our storage low. Yeah, so let's talk about this. So this is producer output. This is kind of like the most advanced mechanic in the game, really. We can manage like the most of anything that we want to create. So for example, I think I'm going to take firewood down to 10, and then I'm going to turn firewood onto infinite production. So that should theoretically mean that after these 2 ropes are manufactured, which is exactly what I ordered, we're going to manufacture firewood until we have 10 firewood in storage. At the moment, you can see that we have 0 firewood in storage. That's just to try and ensure that we have, you know, a little bit more control over the resources that we are producing. It's not really going to make that much of a difference, though, because I'm not manufacturing firewood a lot. Just occasionally at the moment. Either way, I mean, now that we've got boats up and running, the world is frankly our oyster. We are in a tremendous position, frankly. Okay, it turns out that, yep, seagulls do indeed need houses. And in fact, you've even popped back into the house for a little nap. In fact, both of the seagulls have popped into the house for a little nap. I don't believe it. Sometimes you have to see it to believe it. And even though I've seen it, I still am not convinced that I actually believe it, even on this occasion. Right, what other research do we want to do? Maybe a large storage yard, maybe. Plastic recycler, maybe. I don't really feel like there's anything that I'm particularly in need of right now. A solar still is always kind of nice. We've only got 15 research points, though, and we're going to need a scrapsmith. Actually, yeah, that'll be totally fine. Let's unlock a scrapsmith and then a solar still as well, because a solar still will require pipes. Pipes are made at the scrapsmith. So let's get that sorted, shall we? Right, so scrapsmith, we need more metal parts than we currently have. Well, that's probably because... Alright, can I auto-produce oil up to... I guess like 50? Right, there we go. Auto-produce oil up to like 50. And then we'll just do that until we've got 50% of fuel in the town, I guess. That's fine. So if we do that, then that will work just fine. And then we can head off to the viaduct, the one that I was talking about a while ago, about getting some more resources for. Also, it looks like we're at a seaweed spore. That's a bit of a bummer. That's fine. That's such a stupid place to put a marker. Just stick a... Yeah, in fact, you know, just stick 2 boats on that there. Yeah, fine. Also, I need to put a production limit on water. You know, we'll put it on 30. Right, so there should be 30 units of water in the tank at all times. We're actually overproducing water at the moment. Our storage can only store 40 units of water, so yeah, maybe we need to cut back on the water production. Just a smidgen. Just an idea there. Right. Right, finish producing that little bit of water, and then we'll leave that there. All right, but for now, I think we're up to oil. Yeah, we're up to a good place when it comes to oil. I would like clarity on whether oil counts as being in my storage. Yeah, okay, so I don't actually think that oil counts as being in my storage until I've got a full tank. which maybe makes me think that this number needs to be a heck of a lot lower than it currently is. So that's going to be 10 oil in the storage, in addition to a full tank of oil. That's fine. Okay. So what we can now do is we could theoretically move to a brand new region, which is just an auto-generated brand new region. What is that? Long Island? I do want to go up there, but I want to go to the viaduct. Oh, yes, please. I will go right there. It's going to be quite a long voyage for us to get to both Long Island and the viaduct, but I think it should be totally doable. Yeah, we will move to a region, a brand new region as soon as we feel like it's necessary. It's not super necessary at this moment in time, though. There's everything that we could possibly want for a happy and successful life in this region. So why bother going to a brand new one when this one is so perfect? Right. So what are the two landmarks that I spied in this area? There was the viaduct. Yep, there we go. 40 scrap. Oh, goodness gracious me. Right, well, 2 boats to collect the 40 scrap. Should be very, very quick to do that. And then the other one, Long Island. Oops. There we go. Zoom in and out of the map. Oh, it's so slow. Oh, it's chugging a little bit. Oh, pause the game. Yeah, there we go. There we go. I found it. Oh my goodness. And there's even more goodies over here. There we go. So go do that. And then I'm going to focus back on the boat, because apparently, video game, you ain't loving what I'm doing right now. I don't know what I'm doing that could possibly be upsetting you. Stick it in normal speed. Okay, that seems to have fixed things somewhat. And we're back to 3 times speed. Brilliant. Okay. Do we need anything particularly? No, we don't need wet woods. We don't need wet wood. We don't need dry wood. We do need a little bit of plastic. Is there plastic around anywhere? Because if I could get the seagulls to go and do a little bit of a plastic session, that would be great. Plastic collection session. No. I'm sure I saw plastic somewhere. Let me zoom out onto the map. Yeah, over here. There we go. I think this is out with the seagull's range. I think it's out with the seagull's range. It might not be. No, it's definitely within the seagull's range. Okay, well, that's brilliant. What can I say? I'm very happy. Glad that that's going to work. Yeah, we'll just keep on producing resources as and when we need them. We are in plentiful supply, actually. We've got more supply than we could possibly need at this moment in time. What did I want to build? I wanted to build a scrapsmith, and for that we need just a few more bits of plastic and also a few more bits of metal components. Metal components, by the way, coming in right now. Metal scrap, whatever, coming in right now. We are max capacity. We are max capacity. Whoa. Yeah, so that's a bit of a problem. That is a bit of a problem. What do I have that I can just get rid of, like, with relative ease? A lot of dry wood. A lot of dry wood. Oh, goodness, video game. You are chunking right now. I don't know what I've done to upset you, but there's something going on. Right. Take firewood off the production queue. I don't want to do that anymore. I mean, I think we just build a new storage, to be honest. Yep, build a new storage. It's going to get rid of some metal components and also... sorry, not metal components. Some rope and also some dry wood. Both of which is quite nice. How much rope do we actually have? 3 rope? I mean, why don't we try and stick in a couple more ropes into the production queue? Why the heck not? And we will get that started. 20 firewood. I believe that is a little bit more than the amount that I specified. The reason that is because it only technically counts as in your storage after it's been delivered to the storage. which is a little bit of a funky way of dealing with things, but I believe that's the way that it works, because I've queried that before. Okay, good stuff. Goodness gracious me, you are lagging like crazy, video game. I mean, it is worth pointing out that this... Well, goodness gracious me, I literally cannot do anything. It is worth pointing out that this game is still very much in early access, and it is... I cannot do a single darn thing. The game is still very much in early access and is subject to change as it goes. This is just sort of the first major post-release update. Goodness gracious me. Okay, well, you know what I'm gonna do just to sort of celebrate the end of the episode, because I'm pretty much sure that we are about as far as we can go. I mean, obviously there's a bunch more stuff that I can build. I was gonna build the metals scrapsmith shop or whatever. We need a little bit more plastic in order to do that, and then I was gonna build a solar cell. But if you're interested in seeing the series that I did last time, you know, check that out. Link down in the description. Should have mentioned that earlier, but, you know, hey, if you're interested in seeing, you know, the whatever it is 6-part series that I did, you can just check that out. Not much has changed other than this worldview, which is what I've really been trying to show off over the course of this episode. This game is chunking too badly for me to really continue, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to move to the next region. That will allow us to use 75% of our fuel, and you won't be able to return to this area. Are you sure you want to move? I do indeed. For demonstrational purposes only, I would hasten to add. I think we would be fine in just that single area. And there we go. We start afresh. We start afresh in a brand new, unblemished region, which will allow us to collect as many resources as we want to. There's a brand new leaking water tower within our range. What else is there? Just out of curiosity, there's a long island over here where we can pick up some more resources, and then there's also a lonely island, which is also actually within reach, which is nice. We might as well go and do that. But look, I feel like this has been a nice little look at Flotsam. Obviously, this game has got a long way to go. This game definitely has a long way to go, especially fixing those performance issues that I experienced just there. However, it's a cute little base builder. It's a cute little base builder. I like it. I like the fact that you're floating around on the open seas. You know, you're trying to do right by your drifters, and I think it's gonna be real good. I think we managed to do a fairly good job, and I certainly like this update. Makes things a heck of a lot freer, as opposed to being constrained to a single path or a specific route. You're able to just move around as and when you see fit, which I very, very, very much like the look of. Ladies and gents, it's been an absolute pleasure to play Flotsam for you today. My name, of course, has been Potato. Check out the Patreon if you're interested in helping support videos like this directly. And yeah, definitely subscribe if you want to see more. Thanks for watching, folks. I'll see you next time. Bye.